Okay, in this video we will see how to create a custom alert action in Splunk. Okay, so if you remember from my previous video, we talked about different kinds of alert, right? Scheduled alert, real-time alert, and also we talked about different alert actions, right? Out of the box Splunk alert actions. Now in this video we'll try to create our own alert action, okay, and we'll see how to develop that one as well. Now the use case we'll be building today is if you remember previously I have created the TMDB app, right? Now that TMDB app is basically there is a modular input over there, sorry, scripted input over there, which is basically pulling all the upcoming movies, right? Now what I wanted to do is I wanted to update a list in my movie database, in my TMDB database, and the list name is TMDB_list, and I want to add some movies to it. Okay, now based on the search result I will have from my Splunk index. Okay, so basically the alert will be looking like something like this. It should show up in the alert action list over here. Okay, and once you click that list, click that item over there, it should ask you for the list ID, list language, which is a drop down, and an API key. Okay, now to start with, what we will do is we need to understand how the custom alert action build. Okay, now the custom alert actions are basically Splunk apps, okay, with a very little different from other Splunk apps, okay, which we will be discussing that today as well. So what we'll do is first we will create an app. Okay, so we'll go to apps, we'll create an app. We'll give it a name, let's say TMDB alert. Okay, now the folder name we will give TMDB_alert. Okay, the version will give 1.0.0. so this is the one, this is the format you have to maintain when you create an app. So visible should be no, because alert actions are not visible because they do not have any dashboard over there, right? So author name, description, this is a custom alert action for TMDB app. Okay, just some meaningful description we'll give. Template will choose barebone only, and we'll save it. Okay, so we just created a very basic app over there. Now we will convert this app to an alert action. Now before we start, what we'll do is we will go to this page over here. Okay, so this should be the directory structure for a custom alert action. If you see the app name, under app name, app server, static, there should be then PNG file. Okay, so that should act as an alert icon. So if I just go over here, this particular icon we should be saving it under app server static. Okay, now inside the bin folder there should be a script which will be basically the logic of the alert will be written over there, right? Generally it is a Python script. Okay, now under default folder there are a couple of important files called alert_actions.conf. so this basically this configurations files is basically telling this particular app will be act as a alert, and it also stored different alert level configurations over there. App.conf, there are certain changes we have to do in the app.conf as well. We will see that one. Now restmap.conf is needed when you want to validate the inputs. Okay, so in this video we will just try to make a basic alert, so we will not implement the restmap.conf. Restmap.conf we will implement after I discuss the how to create a custom REST API, and after that we will try to create an alert with this restmap.conf. Okay, now setup.xml, as you already aware of, Splunk provides an setup page, right? So for your alert also, if you want to provide some setup page, this is the XML you have to maintain. Then under data UI there should be a alerts folder. Okay, over there if you see there is a HTML file. Now this HTML file will be rendered something like this. Okay, so this is important. So this is basically the UI of the alert will be defined over here. Okay, and under metadata, default.metadata, there are certain settings which we will be doing it. Now I struggle most of my time over here, okay, because this is not properly documented in Splunk documentation. So I'll show you where I was stuck and how I resolved it. Okay, so it was all belongs to default.meta, and under readme folder there are two specs file, alertactions.conf.spec, savesearches.conf.spec. Now alertactions.conf.spec is needed when inside your alert actions you are basically defining some custom variables. Those settings you have to define over here. Otherwise, whatever you are defining at the UI level, so because this list ID, language, API key, right, all of this requires a proper mapping of the variable so that we can query this thing or pass this thing to a Python script, right? So that variable basically we declare in savesearches.conf.spec file, so that Splunk will know these are the files, or these are the variables it needs to send, so that when it sends the payload to the script, right, this particular script, it also send those variable values as well. Okay, so this is the basic idea behind the app directory structure. Now in the app component, as I already said when I was discussing the directory structure, so this is the one. So let us start building it out. Okay, so what I will do first is I will just go to my Splunk home. Okay, etc apps. So this is our TMDB alert, right? Now what I need is, first we will go one by one. Okay, so we will go to first create a app server and static folder, and we'll keep a PNG file over there. Now the size of this PNG file is important. It should be 48 by 48 pixel. Okay, so that it can render properly. So what I'll do is I will create a app server folder over here. App server. Inside that app server, I'll create a folder called static. Okay, now inside the static I will be placing that. So I already have one. I'll just open a new window over here. I already have one PNG file. I'll just paste it over there. Okay, now we created the app server static folder. Let's go back over here. Now inside the bin we need to have a Python script, right? Now, and inside the default we need to have app.conf and other files, right? So we need to have alertactions.conf and app.conf and those stuff. Now we will first create a alertactions.conf. Okay, so we are in our Splunk etc apps folder. So we will create a alertactions.conf. I will just create this conf file as a copy, and we will name it to alert_actions.conf. okay, now we will open this to Notepad++. Okay, so now we will just delete everything over here. Okay, and also we will open our app.conf over here. Okay, we'll see what are the changes are needed. Now in the alertactions.conf, first thing is you need to create a stanza. Okay, now you have to remember this one. This stanza name will be the mapping for everywhere. That means if I give a stanza name TMDB over here, okay, so the Python script you will be creating should be called as tmdb.py. okay, everywhere you will be mentioning this name over there. We'll see that one. Okay, so in the alertactions.conf, what we will do is, first thing is the settings is underscore custom. Okay, we have to set it to 1. So this will basically tell this is a custom alert action. Okay, now label you can give over here. This is the name. So if I just show you over here, this particular stuff, add to TMDB list, this will be worked as a label over here. Okay, so if I just say add to TMDB list, okay, so we set that one. Now description you can set, this is optional. So description, you can set something similar to that one. Okay, now icon path, icon underscore path. So here you are basically giving the name of the icon. So what we have done it over here is under TMDB alert app server static, we created this file, right? So we will copy this name over there in the icon path. Okay, now payload format, payload underscore format equals to JSON. Okay, we will see that one. We will discuss very thoroughly the payload structure and stuff. Okay, so for now this is our alertactions.conf structure, and there are certain other alertactions.conf configurations as well, but these are the mainly one. For basic one, this is enough. Okay, I will be giving the Splunk link as well, Splunk documentation link, so that you can refer it, that one, like what are the other alert actions can do over there. Okay, now in the app.conf, what I need to do is visible 0, that is fine. Label is TMDB alert, that is fine. Now in the install tab, you need to do is configured equals to 1, and we have to give state equals to okay. So this is the two important stuff. In the launcher, this is fine. Author, description, version, this is fine. So these two are important one in the app.conf. Okay, so now we have created our second stuff inside the default folder, right? Now inside the default data UI, there should be a alerts folder over here which will hold the alert, right? Alerts. So if I just show you over here, default UI, there should be alert folder, and there should be a HTML file over here. Even the HTML file name should be the same as whatever you are giving in the alertactions.conf. Okay, so this is the TMDB one. So to create the structure, what we will do is we will create a HTML file. So we'll choose language as HTML. Okay, and we'll say file, save as. So we will first go to our Splunk home, etc apps, TMDB underscore alert. We'll go to default data UI alerts page, and this should be a HTML called tmdb.html, right? So this TMDB is the same as alert underscore actions.conf stanza name. So this is how the mapping happens. Okay, so we will fill this up later. Okay, now let us move on. In the alert bin folder, there should be a script called tmdb.py, right? Same as the alert actions.conf stanza name.py. So what we'll do is language, we'll choose Python over here. Okay, we'll just write a simple statement, import request. This is required, so I'll just write it down. We will save it. We'll save it to our same folder, etc apps tmdb alert bin folder, and the file name will be tmdb.py. Correct? So this is how the basic structure we have created over here. Okay, so let us move on. Let us create more basic structure over here. So we done with the default. In the metadata, there should be a default.meta. It is there. We will update that file later. Now there should be a readme file, right? Over here, if I just show you readme folder over there. So we'll create a new folder called readme. Okay, now inside the readme, there should be two files. One is the alertactions.conf.spec and savesearches.conf.spec. Now we will not be providing any extra parameter over there. Generally in the alertactions.conf, if I just show you over here, alertactions.conf, you can define a custom parameter as well. Like if you see the hip chat example, let me show you over here. Hip chat example of the custom alert action. Okay, and if you see their alertactions.conf file, so they have defined the base URL of the hip chat and the authorization token. Okay, this param dot the parameter name, this is how you can define a parameter which is basically static in nature in alertactions.conf file. Okay, so accordingly you can define that alertaction.conf.spec file to tell Splunk this is my custom, or this is my custom parameters. Okay, now otherwise whatever parameters we'll be using in our HTML file, right, this tmdb.html file, we'll be doing it in a savesearches.conf file. So what I'll do is, over here I'll create a new file. Okay, and I will save this to, okay, I'll just copy that name over there, savesearches.conf.spec. okay, file, save as. Okay, we are inside that UI, so we'll go to readme folder, we'll select all types from here, and we will save this file as savesearches.conf.spec. okay, so our basic structure is ready. Now we will update the structure. Okay, so first thing we will do is we will create this alert UI first. Okay, so to do that, what we will do is we will refer the hip chat example. Now if you see the hip chat example, this hipchat.html, they have all the different controls over there, like text boxes, how to create text boxes, drop downs, every stuff over there. Okay, radio buttons. So we will take the code what we need over there. Now just to explain how this file works, if you see it over here, there is a form class called from horizontal, from complex. Okay, under that if you see, there are a lot of divs over here, control group and control. Now this class, if you see, the class equals to control group, class equals to control. So now Splunk has internally defined some CSS or some logic which will render this particular elements as this one. Okay, so what we need to do is I'll just go over here, we'll just define the elements in this way, that's all, and the rendering stuff Splunk will take care of it. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll first copy this guy over here, this is important line. Okay, so this is our, and here my form ends, right? So now after that, if I just go over there, okay, now after that if you see, each and every control group defines an element. If you see this control group defines a text element over there. Okay, and the name, if you see it over here, this is the name of the variable which will be attached to it over there, which will be passing it to the Python script over there. Okay, so what we'll do is we will see our design first. First we have to create a text box called list ID, right? So this is their input type equals to text. So what I'll do is I'll copy this div over there. Okay, so I'll copy this div, I will paste it over here. Okay, so this class has to be control group, we will not be changing that one, and this label class has to be control label as well. Okay, now for hip chat room, if you see it over here, this is the ID of the div, or basically the text box. We will name it as, let's say, list underscore ID. Okay, so that ID I will give over here. Okay, now if you see the name of the parameter, this is somehow has to be something like action dot the tmdb. So this is the same as the stanza name over here. Okay, so this should be the same as the stanza name of the alertactions.conf. Okay, so that's why I'm giving it over here. Then param, then the name of the variable. So we will say list ID. Okay, list ID. Okay, so we will name it as list ID. And if you see, there is a span over here. Now this span is used to give a help text, something like this. Okay, so that's why we will use that span to say, what we will say is the name of the TMDB list, right? The name of the, or the ID of the TMDB list. Ideally it should be the ID of the TMDB list. Okay, so we created our first text box over there. Now if you see, we have to map it, we have to pass this through Python, right? So this should be the server safesearches.conf entry. Okay, we'll copy this name of this parameter, we'll say this should be a string. So in the safesearches.conf.spec, we basically tell what are the type of the, what is the data type of this parameter. Okay, this should be a string. Okay, so now let's move on over there. So let's create the second element called language. Okay, so for that we need a drop down, right? So we'll again go to our hip chat example, and over there we will try to see which one is a drop down. If you see, this is a drop down over there, right? This is a select. Now we will copy this div over there. Okay, we will go over here. So our this div is ending over there, so we will copy this one. Again, the class will be control group, the label class will be control label. So here we will see this is language. Now if you see the, so the label, if I just tell you over here, label is this guys over here. Okay, now we will create the entries over here. Now again we will be giving a ID over there. Okay, it is currently hipchat color. We will name it as list underscore language for. Okay, so we will give it a name, meaningful name. Again the variable name will be action.tmdb.param.listlang. If we'll just give the variable name as listlang. Okay, so here if you see, we'll have en for English, f for French, just some entries over here, da for Danish, sa for, let's say, Sanskrit, and bn for Bengali. That's it. Okay, and the help text will be, we'll say choose the language of the list. Okay, so we just give this description over there. Okay, now again what we have to do is we will go over here in the safesearches.conf. we will just give it as a string because we will be selecting string only from the drop down. Okay, we'll save it. So we created our second element as well. Okay, so let's move on. Let's create the third element called API key. So API key will be the similar stuff. It's a text box, right? So we'll copy this one now, and then control group, control label, this will be our API key, correct? Now the variable name will give API key, and ID will be, okay, we have given list ID. Okay, anyway, any name should be fine over here. Okay, and this should be, let's say, API underscore key. So this doesn't matter. You just need to make sure in the ID you are giving the same name, that's all. And I'll just mention the help text as, okay, API key over there. Okay, so, and again if you see, the span class help block will be rendering something like this. Okay, not in a bold way, and that's all. That's the way Splunk basically renders those stuff. Okay, so we created this new variable as well. We'll be mentioning here as well, that one. Okay, so Now if I just restart Splunk, ideally our UI should be ready over there. Okay, now let us restart Splunk once. I just wanted to show you something where I struggle. Settings, server control, restart Splunk. Okay, we'll wait for Splunk restart to complete. Okay, our Splunk has been restarted. If I just go over there, if I just go to search and reporting app, okay, and let's say run any search, index equals to underscore internal, save as alert. If you see, okay, there should be, okay, what you have to do is you need to go to settings. Okay, you have to go to alert actions over there first. Okay, if you see add to TMDB list is coming over here, the permission is at app level, it should be global. Okay, because any app can use this particular alert action, right? And if I just go to search and reporting app now, okay, index equals to underscore internal, and if I just save as alert, okay, I just run any search just to show you whether it is coming or not. See if it is coming over here. If I just click on it, it is showing the alert action does not require any user configuration. Okay, even though we have defined an HTML file for rendering purpose and we have made this particular alert action as global from the UI, it's still not showing up over here. This is where I was stuck over there. Okay, and this is where you have to, this metadata file will come into picture over there. What we'll do is we'll go to apps. Okay, inside the apps, if you see there is a webhook alert, right? We'll go to metadata, its default.metadata will open. We will copy this 3 stanza. Okay, and you we have not defined any REST map. Okay, but this alerts and alert actions export equals to system, this is what is needed over there. Okay, so if I just go to our TMDB alert again, we'll go to metadata, we'll go to default.meta. Now these 3 stanzas has to be there over there. Okay, so we will enter it. Okay, we'll save it, we'll restart the Splunk again. Okay, because we have made changes to the config file from the backend. We'll restart the Splunk, we'll come after Splunk restart complete. Okay, our Splunk has been restarted. Let's go back over there and see whether that is resolving our issue or not. I'll just try to give any search underscore internal. Okay, and we will try to save it as an alert action. We will go over there as alert add to TMDB list. If you see it over here, after making that change, the UI is now rendering properly. Okay, so that was the deal, and it is not mentioned properly in the Splunk documentation. So so I had to dig through a lot just to find this one. That's why I'm just sharing with you. So we just created the UI part of the alert, right? Now we have to create the brain part, which is basically the Python script of this alert. Okay, now that will be another big discussion over there, because we have to understand how authentication works for TMDB and other stuff. Okay, that's why I will park it for the next video. Okay, we'll see it in the next video. In there we will create that alert actions, that alert action Python script basically. Okay, see you in next video.